Greetings and good morning. Welcome to the Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday meditation service. I'm Kristen, and I'm honored to be of service this morning. We hope our service this morning finds you happy and healthy. But know that if you are struggling, we hope that the Temple Buddhist Center can be a source of refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and your loved ones. Let's begin this morning with a few conscious breaths. Take a few moments to ground, to experience the body, and breathe together. Conscious breathing is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, and pause for a moment before releasing slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let's begin. Breathing in. Pausing just a moment, feeling the fullness of the lungs, releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body. Just be aware of what is present and alive in the body right now. A second conscious breath. Pausing just a moment, ventilating this precious human form. The energy of doing, going, striving, and accomplishing. Just allow yourself a few moments to cultivate the energy of being, not doing. A third conscious breath together, releasing slowly, and as you release, taking time to invite your awareness to the present moment, fully arriving in the here and now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin service with a chant. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition, and it's not about being a singer, it's about having a voice. Our chant today is Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Victor will explain this chant and lead it for us.
Thank you, Kristen. Our chant this morning, Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, and Sangham Saranam Gacchami, coincides with our discussion today on the Refuge prayer. This is the Refuge prayer in chant form. And so the taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, which we will go into more depth here in just a little bit. And so for that, let's take a conscious breath together. And with that, we will begin together. Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Again. Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Once more. Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami.
Also, at the back of the meditation hall are blankets, lozenges, tissues, and hearing devices should you need them during this service. Here at TBC, we practice Western Buddhism, a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This is an exciting form of spirituality that is dynamic, inclusive, active, and focused on core Buddhist insights, mindfulness, meditation, and their practical application in our daily life. Our goal here isn't to get everyone to agree on one lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you'll participate only in the level that feels comfortable for you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness in our own Buddha nature, as well as a Buddha nature in all beings, allowing a new perspective of this and every precious moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear and delusion and help us to realize the true nature of who we are. And Sangha, the spiritual community, an essential part of growth where we practice the teaching together and support each other every step of the path. Please take a moment to silence any electronic devices and prepare for a meditative environment. Now, let's prepare for the prayer of refuge. We'll recite this together 3 times. Ready? In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we enter a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then I invite you to participate in a way that is fitting for you this morning. If you are new to meditation, then we will begin with an opening dedication. We will sound the bell 3 times. There will be a brief guided meditation, and we will spend approximately 12 to 15 minutes in noble silence. Let's begin by breathing together. Body, speech, and mind, in perfect oneness, I send my heart with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And so as the sound of the bell recedes, guiding us, showing us the way, if you need to take another conscious breath, or perhaps make any micro adjustments in your posture, whatever you need to do to help the body to become more gentle, spacious, and easy. bringing our awareness to the rise and the fall of the tummy. With each inhale and exhale, let this be a home base, a point of reference to which we may return. And so as the breath settles into its natural flow, its natural rhythm, the body is gentle, easy and light. We can bring our awareness now to awareness itself, noticing when the mind becomes aware of a sound, perhaps in the hallway or something in the room, air handlers, a cough, a sneeze. And when you notice that the mind has been distracted by this sound, we simply notice that and come back to the rise and fall of the tummy. You may become aware that the mind has been distracted by a sensation, like the feeling of hot or cold, or perhaps an itch or an ache. When you notice this, lovingly and gently, we just return to the breath. 100,000 times is not too many times to come back to the breath. You might become aware that the mind has been distracted by a thought or even a string of thoughts. Once you notice that the mind has gone there, it's not an opportunity for agitation or to judge yourself. It's actually a moment of celebration because you have seen it. You have awakened to the dream of thought and can lovingly and gently return to the breath. The breath is always in the present moment, and so is a good teacher. Connected to the breath, the body is easy, spacious, and light. The mind is clear, yet receptive to whatever arises, and the heart is open. We can move more deeply into the stillness. I close my eyes and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I seek no contact and find union. I am still and move forward. I am gentle and need no strength. I am humble and remain whole, returning again and again to the breath, returning again and again home. So I invite you to remain in a meditative state as you bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of the air handlers or my voice or any rustling in the room. And as you become aware of sound, at the same time, can you keep 5% of your awareness on the inner stillness, that which is silent and always available to us? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch, as you notice the feeling of your clothing upon your skin, or the chair or the cushion beneath you. And as you become aware of material, matter, and form, can you keep at the same time 5% of your awareness on that which is formless, awareness of awareness? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sight as you slowly begin to open your eyes, allowing in a little bit of light. Just let the images come to you, not looking around for anything. And as you become aware of objects and things and stuff, can you also keep 5% of your awareness on the space around them, in and through the space in this room, around this building, around our planet? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the breath as we take a conscious breath together, holding for a moment, and as you release, become present in the here and the now, in this time, in this place. All right, so if you need to adjust your posture or shift a little as we move from meditation into today's Dharma talk or teaching or lesson, I want to welcome everyone. What a robust, vibrant Sangha we have this morning. Wow, we're going to need a bigger room. So, many of you may recall, I think my earliest memory of realizing what rote, R-O-T-E, means was like in elementary school when we would recite any of the different things. Sometimes it might have been the Pledge of Allegiance or Good Morning, Mrs. Wilson. Whatever the greeting might have been. So this idea of rote. And I caught myself last Sunday as we were doing the Refuge prayer. Actually, there was a moment of that roteness. And so I took that to be a sign that, hey, I think we need to talk about the Refuge prayer. Every now and then we do that and unpack it. It is a very important part of our practice as Buddhist practitioners, as a Sangha, to revisit this with some importance. So the idea of taking refuge is both very simple and very deep. On one level, it simply means to take shelter or protection from danger, trouble, the suffering of human life, both this one and subsequent lives. By turning to the Buddha, the teachings, and the community of Buddhist practitioners, in a sense, the act of taking refuge is what distinguishes Buddhists from non-Buddhists. On another level, taking refuge is the first step on the path to awakening. As taught by Atisha in 1000 AD, he was a great Indian Buddhist master who traveled all throughout Tibet. And sometimes he was sometimes referred to as the Refuge Lama because he taught the refuge prayer and mostly focused on just that. In Tibet today, it's sometimes called Atisha's refuge prayer. So it isn't entirely clear if Atisha wrote the refuge prayer or if it simply has become associated with him because of his devotion to the teachings themselves. And so we like to often state the idea that a person taking refuge is one who wishes to attain enlightenment by following the Buddha as their guide, the Dharma as their path, and the Sangha as traveling companions. It's also sometimes referred to as a medical analogy, where they'll sometimes talk about the Buddha as the doctor, the Dharma as medicine, and the Sangha as the nurse. And of course, we are the patient ourselves. And so taking the medicine means practicing the methods, the techniques, the understanding of the consciousness, the general paradigm of going within, no longer looking outside of ourselves for whatever it is we think we need, questioning always our perceptions, our attachments, and our beliefs. To take refuge in the Buddha is to take refuge in someone who has let go of holding back, just as each and every one of us can do. To, for example, see ourselves in others, to love more completely, to feel more deeply, and to be grateful always, always. I often have people talk to me, it's like, man, Buddhism is just kind of so flat line. And it's like, that's not actually accurate. In fact, as practitioners, we develop, because of our deep spiritual inquiry, we develop a full range of human emotion. It's simply that we're not reacting to them. It doesn't mean we feel them any less deeply. We simply don't need to express it to the world. We feel, care just as deeply as anyone. In fact, I would argue perhaps even more, because it's not overlaid with judgment, delusion, fear, blame. It's raw. We sit with it. That takes courage to be with these feelings, these emotions, these insights, this practice. And so to take refuge in the Dharma is to take refuge in all the teachings that encourage you, that nurture your inherent ability to let go of attachment, to see the truth in this moment, no matter how painful it is. Jack Kornfield likes to tell the story of how he left the forest monastery, his teacher, Ajahn Chah, And he ventured off to learn new teachings, new methods, new skills, new techniques. And he was gone for 3 or 4 years. And when he returned to the monastery, he was so excited, and he went to Ajahn Chah. And he listed all these things that he learned and experienced and practiced. And when he was done, Ajahn Chah looked at him and said, "Great, more things to let go of." And so to take refuge in the Sangha, in the community of people who share this longing to understand letting go, to disentangle from the worldly concerns, and to open ourselves rather than shield ourselves. The support that we give each other as practitioners is not the usual samsaric support in which we all join in the same team and complain about somebody else, where we rally the troops against another group of people who are doing it wrong, or to, gather all of the folks together to rail against some perception. It's much more than that. It is an understanding that we are on our own, bringing awareness to this experience, not judging someone else's experience, not thinking we know what's good, bad, right, and wrong for them. There is an incredible and intense solitariness to the practice. However, as we take refuge in the Sangha, it is helpful to know that there are 85 other people here who are also going through this on their own, together, with you. And though conscious, and through conscious conversations with each other, we can share a depth of experience with each other that is not clouded by delusion, that is not fraught with fear, anxiety. It's not impeded by hate and anger. It is a raw, truthful look at the experience that we are sharing with each other. And this is a true support. This isn't the samsaric, "Oh yeah, that guy totally did you wrong, why, I oughta." No, it's helping us to see where we are stuck. Every conversation, every encounter with other practitioners is an opportunity to reflect back and help each other to see where we are stuck, where the path is for us. Because what we know is what's in the way is the way. So instead of wasting our time complaining, judging, blaming, moaning, lamenting, no, it's an opportunity for awakening. It's a gift. Other practitioners understand this. And that doesn't mean that we don't still interact with our coworkers and perhaps family members and neighbors who are going to want to rail and show you that they're on your side. By golly, you're right. Let's band together and go give them what for. That's okay. They're coming from where they're at. And we can support them and meet them where they're at. But we also understand that that's not our way. That's not the practice. As Jack Kornfield often says, ours is not to change the world. Ours is to love it exactly as it is in this moment. So I want to move now to the second half of my talk today in looking at the refuge prayer. If you go back and you look at this, we talk about through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. These are known as the 6 perfections in the Mahayana Buddhist practice. In Theravadan, which tends to be a little bit more of our lineage, not fully so. Western Buddhism embraces many aspects of Buddhism, not specifically one. But in the Mahayana tradition, they're called the 6 paramitas. So I want to talk about those a little bit today. The word paramita means perfection or completeness. And so these are the 6 perfections. And so, in order to gain Buddhahood or awakening, a Buddhist must achieve both perfection in compassion as well as perfection in understanding. These are the 2 wings that are often talked about, the 2 wings that lift us up and support our practice: compassion and wisdom or understanding. And so the 6 perfections offer a clear method of practicing these perfections: generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. And as you can see on the little graphic, they give them slightly different names. For example, Virya Paramita is called energy, but that is the enthusiastic effort that I have chosen to use instead of just energy. And of course, also Dhyana Paramita is known as meditation, and it is the same, but we use concentration, keeping a single point of focus. I tell the story often that a Zen master was one time asked, if you could boil Zen Buddhism down to the smallest, most concise phrase of words, what would it be? And the Zen master thought for a moment, and his response was, doing one thing at a time. Doing one thing at a time. And that takes intense concentration. Because our mind likes to wander. It likes to go places. It's an exciting world with many shiny objects. And so generosity, dana, paramita, is so much more than just a word. It is a whole way of life. Can you imagine, instead of being upset about having to do the dishes because it's totally not my turn, at experiencing the joy of preparing a clean place for the ones you love to eat and consume their food. It is a paradigm shift. I first learned this on a 7-day silent retreat. The little rooms that we stayed in, just little tiny rooms that had nothing but a bed and a dresser in them. And we were required by the retreat master to make our bed every day. And when the retreat was over, we were required to strip it and put on new bed makings. And so our retreat master said, watch what your mind does while you're making the bed. And while you're stripping and putting on new clothing, new items for the bed, are you caught in, I got to get this done because I got to get home because I got to make sure that I pick up the kids on the way home. Is it wandering, or are you lovingly opening your heart so that the next person who comes to rest their body has a clean, loving place in which to do so? The willingness to give to others what they need, whether that be time, possessions, skills, willingness to give without regret and with complete joy, and to give without expectation of reward. This is all dana paramita. This is all a life dedicated to service, to giving of yourself. And meeting people where they are is an intense act of dana. not looking up to them, not looking down on them, not thinking that I am here on the path and, oh, they're just not quite there yet, are they? No, lovingly meeting them right where they're at. If they want to talk about sports or they want to talk about the government, okay, that's what they want to talk about. And so what I sense and feel is the expression of either their dukkha or their joy. It doesn't have to be mine, but I'm going to meet them where they're at. So, ethics, sila paramita, following the Dharma in all aspects, but not in a rote kind of a way, working with the Dharma, working it into one's daily life with intelligence and understanding, doing the best we can to make skillful choices. So we do a little research. We find out what companies would be more skillful to spend our dollars with. We try to avoid single-use plastics. We try to eat as healthy as we can. We're trying and we're doing the best we can. Sila paramita is not a path to punish yourselves whenever you decide to get a cheeseburger at McDonald's. Don't beat yourself up. And in the same way, don't beat other people up that are doing the best they can with the consciousness level they have. Patience, kasanti paramita, also translated as tolerance or endurance. It's very important to understand those two additional translations. Tolerance, endurance, being patient with others, being patient with hardship, difficulty in our lives, and accepting the truth of life's unsatisfactoriness or dukkha. Even an itch is dukkha. Just that little. Notice the rote or automaticness of just, I'm not saying don't scratch the itch. I'm saying bring awareness. There's an itch. And I notice the body's reactivity to instantly go for it. And then choose. There's our empowerment. There's our true control in the world, to be aware. And then scratch it. Energy, virya paramita, or what we call enthusiastic effort. Dedication to the practice, dedication to awakening. Are you just trying to feel better, or are you trying to wake up? This is one of the problems I have with what has now become a billion-dollar industry of mindfulness. We have everything. Mindfulness-based stress reduction, mindfulness-based parenting, mindfulness-based, I don't know, yak shaving, mindfulness-based, you name it, and we've got a mindfulness basis for it. And the problem that I have is not that it's good, bad, right, or wrong, but oftentimes it is a selfing. It's an opportunity for someone to just feel better in this moment. It's done for oneself. And true mindfulness is heroic. It is courageous. Its opposites are sloth and defeatism. Virya paramita can refer to both mental and physical energy. Taking care of your health is a part of that, and it is a fierce energy that is dedicated to waking up in each and every moment, in each and every experience, with each and every person that you encounter. Meditation, or as we say in our prayer, concentration. Meditation is the foundation of wisdom. inner focus and calm are essential for the deep understanding required for Buddhahood, staying with what is. And that includes what is joyful and pleasant, as well as what is painful, challenging. Can you be with it? The mind's inclination is to jump quickly to blame, or how do I get the heck out of this? Just be with whatever has arisen. If it's a loneliness, if it's a sadness, if it's a jealousy, whatever has arisen, my teacher used to say, the body will never lie to you, and the head always will. Be with what is and stay with it, and it will pass. I had a yoga teacher that was awesome, because we would go into an asana that might have been really difficult, at least for me, to hold. And she would say, stay with it, notice your breath, establish a new relationship with the discomfort. It's kind of what we're doing. As spiritual warriors, we are not afraid of pain, because pain is a part of the human experience. And we make a distinction between pain and suffering. The pain is a natural, normal part of having a human body to play with for 60, 70, 80, 90 years. Suffering is completely optional. As Abraham Lincoln said, most people are as happy as they make up their mind to be. And finally, wisdom. Wisdom consists of understanding that all of existence has an emptiness to it. Sunyata is what it's called in the Buddhist practice. This idea is the foundation of all the paramitas. These things that we've discussed this morning all come and go. They rise and fall. They appear and they disappear. What does not is our awareness of them. Ram Dass used to always talk about, okay, 20 minutes ago you were aware of the things in your car if you drove here, and the people in the car, and the umbrella in the back, and the trash on the floor, or whatever's in there, and stoplights and signs. Where is all of that right now? It's all gone, isn't it? Now you're aware of different things that come and go. But the awareness is always with us, and it is who we are, not the things that come and go, including bodies. So these qualities can also be thought of, these paramitas, all of these qualities can be thought of as priorities. In fact, the word parami is related to paramam, which means something of foremost importance. So we try to think of these as the priorities in our life. So if you make things like material wealth, status, relationships your priority, then you are placing your happiness on things that are largely out of your control, because they come and they go. No matter how much you want them to stay, they go. And no matter how much you want the unpleasant things to stay away, they show up. And there's the human condition right there. Whereas the qualities that we develop, generosity, ethics, patience, concentration, meditation, and wisdom, these, as we develop and cultivate these, stay with us and go with us throughout our life and are always within our control. Not the external world. It's just doing its thing. It's completely insane. However, we have a realm with which to work, and it's a beautiful gift. And the refuge prayer, reminds us of that in each and every moment, in each and every time we say it. So the path is not easy, and it is accompanied by a lot of fear, a lot of resentment, a lot of self-doubt. And that's what it means to be human. That's what it means to be a spiritual warrior. We're not afraid of those things. We know that they come with the whole package. You go through the process of taking off this armor that we might have had on because of some illusion that it was protecting us from something, only to find that actually it's shielding you from being fully alive and fully awake. And we can go forward and meet the dragon, so to speak. And every meeting shows you where there's still a little bit of armor left on that we can peel off in each moment. Take refuge in the courage. Take refuge in the potential for fearlessness, removing all of the armor that covers our awakeness. In the book, A Course in Miracles, it says your safety lies in your defenselessness. And I'll close with this quote by Robert Aiken Roshi. The first lesson is that distraction or obstruction are just negative terms for the content in your life. Circumstances are like your arms and legs. They appear in your life to serve your practice. As you become more and more settled in your purpose of waking up, your circumstances begin to synchronize with your concerns. Chance words by friends, books, poems, even the wind in the trees brings precious insights into this moment. Start where you are. Take courage. Develop knowledge and confidence in your practice. The practice is cumulative. Every time you sit, every time you become aware of your breath, and every time you absorb a Dharma talk, you get closer to the truth. Let's say it together. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. And as usual, Victor has been a bit windy and talked much longer than his allotted 15 minutes. So I think if it's okay with you, Christy, if you don't mind, we'll do a very quick, brief, abbreviated version of our loving kindness practice, and yet no less deep, as we move into a heart practice of loving kindness. And then I'll let Kristen finish up with the rest of our announcements. So let's take a moment, perhaps placing a hand on your heart, or Anjali Mudra, which is a focusing of the heart energy. And with this, please recite silently to yourself these words of loving kindness or metta practice. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be safe from inner and outer dangers. May all beings be well in body and mind. and may all beings be at ease and happy. And with that, a conscious breath as we release this sentiment into the universe.
Thanks, Victor, for leading us through the heart practice, the very abbreviated version. In the true spirit of dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services are given freely. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, not in return for something you have received, but so that others who may seek refuge in the Sangha may find it here in this temple. Dana boxes are located on the lower floor near the door and at the front of the balcony. I want to take this time to thank all the wonderful volunteers and thank you to our TBC ambassadors, those that have committed to regular electronic donations. It's not about the amount. The monthly giving helps us to set a budget here at TBC. If you would like to become an ambassador, just click on the Love Offering button on our website at templebuddhistcenter.com. And thank you, Victor, for your wisdom and helping us to understand the message today. Thank you so much. It was very wonderful. And also, thanks, Christine, for your beautiful music. And we thank each and every one of you for being here this morning. We are all the better for it. Let's prepare now for the bodhicitta dedication. We will all say together one time. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let us go forth from this place, entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. Namaste. Any announcements, Victor?
Why, I'm so glad you asked. Just a couple of brief things, friends. Thank you so much. Our daily sheet that we have available, it's usually for folks who are brand new, is on the counter right outside the meditation hall on the reception desk. And it does also contain the Refuge prayer. So if you'd like to take that home with you, you're certainly welcome to. If there's only one page left, please don't take the last one. We'll go make copies real fast and get that for you. April 23rd, you guys, Temple Buddhist Center is sponsoring a wonderful Earth Day celebration. We're giving away 50 trees. They are a combination of redbud and also white swamp oak. There's going to be 3 panel discussions, one on faith and the environment, another one that's going to be involving some policies and environments. So we're actually beaming in some folks for a Zoom panel that will be here. Star Trek, I don't know. And so there will also be tabling. So downstairs we have over 25 organizations that will have a table there that are going to be happy to talk with you about sustainability, environmental concerns, and can offer an opportunity for a group that perhaps you might feel a connection with. So that's April 23rd from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Oh, and I'm sorry, Cinema KC is featuring a film festival from some local filmmakers that have created films that have an environmental impact message to them. So again, we hope that you can stop by and take advantage of some of those wonderful activities that day. This was from last Friday. You can even see there's bunches of friends and folks in there, but the kids, it was really a delightful evening. It was a full moon meditation. We try to do this once a quarter. It sometimes happens just sort of spontaneously. And so just keep looking at our Facebook page as well as our website, and things will pop up sometimes pretty quick. So we had a lot of fun at that, and a beautiful flower mandala that everybody created. So again, keep an eye out for that. And a few just other things. Don't forget Jenny Han, a very popular Kansas City artist, is featuring here at Temple Buddhist Center a class called Mindfulness for Creatives. And this is a 4-week class, and it begins April 12th, beginning at 6:30 p.m. And so to meet with Jenny, and if you've never seen her art, just go to Jenny Han, H-A-H-N, art.com, I think is it. If you Google it, it'll pop up. She's a fantastic artist. Has been featured on the cover of many books, especially about spirituality and mindfulness and meditation. And so she's going to be leading this class, so it's really going to be a neat opportunity to find that connection between the divine gift of our creativity and mindfulness and meditation, and how those two go hand in hand. And then also don't forget, second Sundays of each month is always our Helping Hands Day, where we have a little blue bag that you can take home, or actually just put it in your car and have with you, so that as you go throughout the city and you find or encounter a person experiencing homelessness, you can give them one of these bags, and it's filled with all kinds of essential items. And so that's the second Sunday of each month. I'll leave this up so you guys can see the other things. The VSOC retreat, which is residential, commuter, and virtual. So you have 3 ways to participate. Mark the dates. The registration page is not up yet because I'm still dealing with getting all the food things prepared. So I have a number, and then I can actually publish all of that once we get it. So we'll get it up right away. My heart just explodes. Our community is so thriving, so growing, it's so vibrant. Thank you to each and every one of you for everything you do for our community and for yourselves and for the planet. So again, thank you all so much. Peace and blessings as you go into your day and shine your light into the world. Thank you now. Namaste. Look who's here, Karen. I was thinking about you several times in the... Oh, I'm still on.